And I welcome you today to CSC Talker Radio. It is my honor, my privilege, and my pleasure to be here with you today. We took a break yesterday. And we talked about, well, kind of like the economy in some respects as to how we can make it better by buying American. I'm going to give it a little plug here real quick before we get started to visit my website. We are trying to accumulate. It's coming up slowly, but it's coming up strong. The Made in America products and companies. And if you go to my website, which is csctalkradio.com, that's csctalkradio.com, click on the All-American Market. And that'll take you to these companies that are now on board with CSC Talk Radio. How long they stay here is up to you. They need to sell product. That's what they're there for, is to sell product. So we have several there, and I want you to go visit them. And if you have bought a MyPillow, I want to hear your testimony. If you can write it down, and I don't have to use your name. We can use any name or just your first name and not your last name, and people won't know who you are. Just let me know if you like your MyPillow. I want to hear from you. All right, on with the news. The left empowerment of women, I think, is the weakening of America's foundation of the rule of law and the innocent until proven guilty. You know, innocent until proven guilty is what a free society practices and lives by. If you have to constantly defend yourself against any and every accusation, wow, wait a minute. That's job security for lawyers and attorneys, isn't it? This nation is in a mess. Because everyone demands, and nobody's going to like me saying this, fairness. It's got to be fair. At every turn, for every jerk in the world, it's got to be fair. Well, you know, Mama raised me up saying, life isn't fair. Deal with it. There's much going on in this nation, and we're hung up on something Dianne Feinstein has orchestrated into a fiasco in the Senate regarding the confirmation of a Supreme Court justice nominee. If Feinstein truly believed there had been a crime and she held this information back, is she not guilty of withholding evidence? Of course, there is no evidence. None whatsoever. Just accusations. It is a she said, he said situation. And perhaps her life should be examined as his has been. Perhaps she shouldn't have been underage drinking and going to high school parties. Perhaps, and this I believe is true, we should ignore the accusations and move on with the confirmation. Now, a lot of people don't like me saying that, but I've got somebody that agrees with me, and I'm going to read an article from him to you. The comments being made are not only disgusting, they're wrong. No, we don't have to believe every woman who claims rape or molestation or whatever. As a woman, I'm embarrassed by these feminists who they don't think equality. No, it's not about equality. It's about empowerment, taking over. They want to do whatever, go wherever, drink and take whatever, and not hold 1 ounce of responsibility for their actions. That's what abortion's about. If Ford was drunk, and if a man there was also drunk, and both behaved badly, now remember, she was not raped. She claims being groped, at least that's how it started out, but never took off her bathing suit. I would say they're both guilty, not of a crime, other than breaking the law regarding their age of drinking, but guilty of poor judgment and bad behavior as teenagers. Now, I know teenagers don't often misbehave, do they? They don't ever experiment or try anything, do they? So, here we are with yet another distraction. When other stuff is being plotted and planned behind your back, the American citizen. So let's get to the news. Now, I said I wanted to share with you an article, and it is by Dennis Prager. Now, I have read some of his stuff to you before, but he wrote an article and he tweeted out something, and he took some ridicule for it, just as I would if everybody heard what I just said. I don't believe the woman, and I believe she should have been ignored because there was no evidence. So they come out with this female empowerment. What does that really mean? Well, Prager kind of gets to that in this column. He says, a response to my critics. He said, my last column elicited tens of thousands of comments from the thoughtful to the sick on the internet and on Twitter. In the column, I made 2 points. One was that the accusation made against Judge Kavanaugh, for which there is no evidence, that was made by an anti-Trump activist that concerns an event that allegedly took place in high school 35 plus years ago at an unidentified time and an unidentified place that has been either denied or not substantiated by the other named individuals who were allegedly present, and that it is against a man known for an entire adulthood of exceptional moral decency. Should have been ignored. So he said it should have been ignored, and I mean he got hammered. He said, I noted that everything I have learned from a lifetime of teaching the Bible and religion led me to value the notion of positively assessing people who may have sinned when young but have led a truly upright life for a long time as adults. As I asked, he says, he has his own radio show, will people clamor to remove sainthood from St. Augustine because of his sinful life as a young man? Would they do that? Well, they might. If they've got a statue, they might knock it over. You know, they're kind of into that. The other point I was concerned about with the issue of women's empowerment. In this regard, I cited the statement released by Susanna Jones, head of Holton Arms School, the private preparatory school for girls in Bethsaida, Maryland. The Kavanaugh's accuser attended, that's where she went to school, and this school marm, Susanna Jones, says, as a school that empowers women to use their voices, we are proud of this alumni for using hers. To which he says he responded, empowers women? Please. And he goes on to explain. Now, women out there, we had one call in earlier that talked about being raped and her life, and that she never forgot. Now, all of us have had men who have behaved badly and still do sometimes. You ignore it, you move on, or you slap them. Of course, then you're in trouble, you know, because that's assault, I guess. He says, my mother was groped by a physician. We should leave it there. Anyway, she told my father about it. So what do you think the father did? If we're going to leave it on the edge there. Suspense. What would you have done? Women, this show is for you, this part of the show anyway. We have some things we're going to talk about. Do you remember earmarks? They want to bring them back. The Democrats want to bring those back. What do you think? So we're chasing these allegations, and they're back there trying to put earmarks back in. Anybody got to figure that one out? 877-895-5410 is the number to call. Empowerment of women weakens the nation. And we will be right back.